I get it. I've been there too. When I was 20, I was so excited to start a business and get on with making money. I was interested in real estate, where I wanted to get into buying and renting properties, and I was really interested in trading stocks and options, which seemed like an easy way to make money. Just buy low and sell high, right? How hard can that be? I read a lot about both of these businesses and learned how to make money doing them, in theory at least. Of course, the big problem is there's a big difference between reading about something to get a basic understanding of how a business works and actually knowing how to do it, which is way, way more involved with a ton of important details that you didn't even know exist. It's the classic situation where you don't know just how much you don't know about a business, things that you have to know to have a shot at being successful. The devil really is in the details. Thankfully, back when I was 20, I looked a little deeper into the businesses that I was interested in and realized that I wasn't ready to do them yet, that I still had a lot to learn, and I didn't have the money anyway. The lesson here is not that you shouldn't start a business, it's that you should start a business when you are prepared to do it. You can't build a house without plans and the right tools, and it's the same with building a business. So let's get you prepared to get rich in your 20s. In this video, I'm going to discuss the 3 things that you can do to get yourself ready to start a business, even if you don't know yet what business you're going to start. You can figure that out later. And I'll throw in a 4th bonus thing that you can do if you do have an idea for your business. The things you'll do to prepare are universal and will be helpful for pretty much any business that you want to go into. According to the Chamber of Commerce, about 22% of new small businesses fail in the first year, and 50% have failed by the 5th year. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do to make sure your new business is one of the ones that is more likely to succeed. My name is Will, and I'm a former chief financial officer of software companies. In that job, I managed all of the company's finances and helped the chief executive officer, the CEO, and the board of directors run the businesses. I've got an MBA from Cornell, and I'm a CFA, which is a chartered financial analyst. Through my videos here on YouTube, I'm trying to help people better understand business, entrepreneurship, and personal finance so they can achieve more financial success and flexibility in their lives. Now, on to our list. Number 1, you're going to need basic business knowledge, and ideally, you'll want to get some experience applying that knowledge in a job. Whether you're in college studying a major, or if you skipped college and are doing a trade or something else, your knowledge is probably limited to one core area at this point. That's a start. But to set yourself up for success launching and running a business, you should work on building complementary business knowledge and skills that will be very helpful. This is called skill stacking, and it will be valuable in your career whether you just start a business or continue in your career working for someone else. It's really only upside to you for learning these topics. There are a few areas for you to learn. I'd recommend you start by taking a basic business finance class and a basic accounting class. Sorry, as a former CFO, maybe I'm biased, but these are critical foundational elements for you to know, particularly the business finance. It will be hard to run a business or be a manager in someone else's business without understanding the basics of finance and accounting. Numbers are the language of business, and you're going to trip over them everywhere you turn. For example, you need to be able to build a budget with your estimate of costs, revenue, and cash flow. You need to figure out what your variable and fixed costs are and how to set your prices so that you can operate profitably. In marketing, you'll need to be able to figure out how much you can afford to pay for ads and what are the conversion rates of your marketing campaigns. In sales, you'll need to estimate how much you can afford to pay your team in commissions to bring in business. And if you don't have a sales team, you still might need to calculate the conversion rates of sales activities to decide what's worth doing and what isn't. In product development, you'll have to estimate how much it costs to build and maintain your product and to deliver your services. Yes, it's certainly easier when the business is small, but knowing how to think about your business in numbers is essential. Combined, all of this gets pulled together and becomes your business model. Essentially, the business model is the combination of the sales and costs and cash flows and capital money needed for your business. It's how you do business and how you'll make money in that business. In addition to finance and accounting, you'll need to learn sales and marketing. You can certainly read books, watch videos, and take classes in these areas, and you should, but these areas, particularly sales, are action-oriented. You need to do them to truly learn and get better. If possible, get involved in sales and marketing activities at your employer, even if it's just secondary to your main job. Sales and marketing are all about figuring out who to target as your customers, and then finding and bringing in those customers to buy your products. As a part of this, you'll learn more about pricing your product, how and when you get paid, how and when to deliver the product to your customer, and contracting. No matter what kind of business you're involved in, you need to understand the mindset, understanding, and skills to do this. Finally, you'll need to develop your communication skills. You can take classes in business writing and public speaking. These will improve your ability to write and communicate clearly, which is very important in business. There are other things to know, of course, legal topics like formally, legally setting up a business, for example, plus various legal contracts and paperwork you might need, and bookkeeping. But for much of this, you can just contact an attorney or accountant when it's time to get their help. You can't and won't know everything, so don't stress about that. Just know when to call for expert assistance. To learn these topics I've recommended, check out your local community college and see what classes they offer. Also, look online to find if other colleges teach classes remotely, and check out remote learning websites like Skillshare, which has a huge selection of classes on all sorts of topics taught by various experts. Together, these skills will give you the broad knowledge of how a business operates. This will set the stage for you to succeed in your own business when you're ready to launch it, but this knowledge alone isn't enough. Before we jump to number 2, could I ask a quick favor? If you're finding this video helpful and enjoy this kind of content, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. This tells YouTube that the videos are worth sharing with others, which really helps the channel. Thank you very much for that. Also, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I usually try to put something funny into this part of the video to give a quick laugh. If you like that and want me to keep doing it, please leave a comment to let me know to continue. Now, back to our list. Number 2. You'll need to develop the skills of modern business, which is heavily reliant on using computers and software and the internet. If you're not already comfortable using computers and software for business applications, then take a few classes on how to use various business software programs to get you up to speed, such as how to use Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, Microsoft PowerPoint for presentations, and video conferencing applications like Zoom and Skype. Also, learn how to set up a basic business website, format it, and populate it with text and images. Learn how organic traffic works on Google and the other search engines when it comes to bringing visitors to your website. Learn how to set up a Google Analytics account and link it to your website so you can see data about visitors to the website. Learn how to set up a Google Ads account so you could run ads to drive traffic to your website. Learn how to set up a Facebook page for your business and how to use Facebook in various ways to deliver traffic to the website. None of this is terribly difficult to learn to do, but you'll definitely not want to have to learn all of it for the first time while you're in the middle of actually launching and running your business. Take some classes, learn it ahead of time. That way you'll be ready and comfortable with these tools and skills when it's time to put them to use. Almost all businesses will benefit from these skills. Again, check out local community colleges for classes on these topics, although for these topics, you're more likely to find the classes you want on a site like Skillshare. I'll give you a super quick tour so you can see what I mean. On Skillshare, if you go to the homepage, then in the top left corner, select Browse. You can pick from many categories of classes that are offered. Pick one, say freelance and entrepreneurship. You can then scroll through the classes that are in that category, but you could also go to the top of the page, use the search bar, and type in a specific topic. For example, search for Microsoft's Excel, the spreadsheet software that I talked about a minute ago. There are over 600 classes available about Excel, including this first one that teaches the basics of Excel in a 1-hour class that has been taken by over 46,000 students. To learn how to build a website using WordPress, one of the most popular website platforms, type in Build a Website to see what they have. Then if you scroll down a little, here's one called How to Build a Professional WordPress Website Fast and Easy Step by Step that's just under 3 hours long. You can find multiple classes on all the topics that I recommended, plus many more on Skillshare. I'll put a link in the video description so you can check it out if you're interested. It's a great learning resource. Number 3, you're going to need cash. How much cash depends on what business you go into. Some businesses require a lot of cash up front, and others don't need much at all. For example, if the business you're going to start requires an office or storefront or inventory or an employee, then you're going to need cash to pay for that. If the payment terms of your business have you getting paid after you deliver a product or perform a service, you may be out of pocket cash for a while, maybe 30 to 60 days on each sale before the customer pays you. These factors are part of your business model, meaning how your business operates. You'll need the basic spreadsheet skills that I talked about earlier, plus the other knowledge about finance, sales, and marketing to build a spreadsheet with estimates of when the cash for your sales comes into your bank account and when the costs go out the door, so you can estimate how much cash you'll need to have saved up so you can run the business without running out of money. A study by US Bank said that 82% of the businesses that fail do so at least in part to cash flow mismanagement. Figure out your cash needs ahead of time and plan to have more cash than you think you need just in case the business takes longer to develop than you thought it would. As part of this, make sure you have enough cash saved for your personal expenses too. Don't skimp on your savings and start the business before you're ready with enough cash saved up. Number 4, do market research. Now, I said at the beginning of this video that you can start preparing yourself without knowing what business you're going to start, and that's absolutely true. But if you do have an idea of what business you want to start, it's never too early to start doing market research. According to the US Bank study that I mentioned a few minutes ago, 42% of small businesses fail, at least in part, because there's an insufficient need for their product or service. Depending on what business you're thinking of starting, there could be more or less research to do. You'll want to clarify who the potential customers are for your product, how many potential customers there are, and what price you can charge for your products and services. Figure out who your competitors are, see what their products and services look like, and how much they charge. Find out what they're good at and what they're bad at. Find ways to get in touch with your potential target market and talk to them to validate that they would be interested in buying what you're planning to sell. Market research is a whole topic of its own and really depends on what business you're going into, but I mention it now so you remember to include it in your planning when the time comes. So, those were 4 things that you can do ahead of time to prepare yourself to start a business. If you'd like to get started but find yourself getting a little confused or overwhelmed by the advice in all of the YouTube videos promising you easy money and one side hustle or another, watch my video called "If You Want to Get Rich, Don't Start a Side Hustle." It's only been out about 3 weeks now and has almost 350,000 views already, with a crazy number of comments from people saying how much they liked it. I think it goes well with what I've talked about here today. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please hit those buttons. Thanks for watching. That's it for today. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.